Can you imagine that the simple act of you paying attention is worth to humanity right now in total $7 trillion? And then the guy returning from a building shift on a motor stopped. And when I told him how much I'm going to pay him, he kind of went, yes.
I'm giving away $100 in every episode. All you need to do is to comment your favorite part of the episode along with your Twitter account, hit the like button, and the winner will be picked up every single week.
I feel like Mr. Boom.
Hello guys, today with a new episode from Troy, the room of Eljaboom. As you know, this show is, I believe it's a unique show because we are not trying to prepare any question with the guest. So it means you have to see the guest and he knows what he's saying. He's coming from this industry as a genuine person, genuine builder, or he's one of the people that we see in Web3 that he's having a list of questions that prepared by his team to answer it. And also for you to see me as well, if I know what I'm saying or I'm just someone who can say Bitcoin gonna reach to the moon, right? I think we have enough moon boys. Today, my guest is someone that I know almost 2 years plus.
3 years. Almost 3 years.
Now, see, you're burning yourself. Now I'm going to go, but we start. Oleg, how are you?
You know what? I am pretty screwed after 3 days of Token 2049.
So
I'm not gonna bore you with details, but if I were to show you a video, the first event that I went to, I did not get Kareem or Uber.
Okay.
Then I was not able to get a car because I was coming to Burj Khalifa, and every car that stopped said, no, Burj Khalifa is not going to happen.
Why? Because of the rain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the guy returning from a building shift on a motor stopped. And when I told him how much I'm going to pay him, he kind of went, yes. And you know what? I was in the back of a motorbike for 1.5 hours, scared shitless, excuse my French.
No, that's fine.
Going up to 1 meter in water with this guy going, yeah. And when I give him money, he said, look, mate, this is more than I earn a week. I am right here waiting for you if you need to go anywhere else.
Anywhere I'm here, right?
And I was literally, is there a video? I was trying to kind of lift my legs up. When I arrived, my feet were squawking. My trousers were wet up to my knee.
You didn't call me. I would have come in and taken it. But the problem, you're going to keep asking more because now you're going to make me, unless you're going to double me some more coins. No,
Elja, you would not come to pick me up.
I picked 2 so far.
There were no cars on the road. It was just this crazy chappie called Pradeep who was driving through.
But
I loved it. I loved it.
At least
I loved it.
Before I jump, at least did you give him Sweat app so he can download it?
No, you know what? I paid him money. I explained to him the Sweatcoin and Sweat wallet as well. But you know what? I don't know, but he's an absolute hero. He saved the day because I made it just in time for my panel. So, you know what?
You had a panel in Token 49?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, I was talking on side events and then at Token 2049. Yeah, no, there was a lot of stage
activities to be there, true.
Yeah.
Now
we had a lot of things to announce. So, I think that I'm probably just going to mention them here.
Sure.
As well.
But before we go there, I want the people know who is Oleg. Tell us, Oleg, who are you? Where are you from? Where did you study? What did you work? I just want to tell people the difference between most of my guests and the people who are just young and just the first thing they do is crypto. So I want to see. You look young, no problem. We're going to pass this part. But again, we want to see your experience and whom you are, etc. So who's Oleg?
Thank you, Elja.
Thank you very much.
You're very kind. It is a long story, but if I shortcut it, I would say that I'm Russian, but don't hold it against me. I left in 1995, so long time ago. Probably most of you have not even been born. And I left and I started traveling and I started moving all around Europe. And I only started doing business when I got my British passport. And you know why? Because in Russian, entrepreneur means, in the back of my mind, someone that will go to jail at some point of time. And it certainly has not been my plan. So until I actually got my British passport and understood that entrepreneurs don't go to jail by definition, I could not really embark on this journey. But when I did, I've gone all in. And I had a business that was called Bloom FM. Then
Bloom FM.
Bloom FM.
Okay.
Music streaming service in the UK. We got it to about 1.3 million users. And then when that unfortunately perished and I went for a run, I realized that I was not running as fast as I wanted to. And I was wondering, why is that? And I started talking to people. And I realized that nobody is as active as they want to be. And then I started asking people why. And everyone was giving me all different explanations. Time, money, motivation, energy, weather. And you know what? When you have 100% of people having exactly the same problem, and all of them have different explanation, that is a very, very good reason to dig deeper. And what we realized was the reason why you and everyone else are not physically active is because nature did not build you to be active. Nature built you to survive, which means preserving calories rather than spending them. And it's very hard to fight against nature. So
you built Sweatcoin.
Sweatcoin,
Yes.
which we started in 2014.
15, I thought.
2014.
Okay.
We registered the company in 2014. We launched in 2015. We started expanding geographically in 2016. But as you can imagine, with the name Sweatcoin, we wanted to be on blockchain, right?
True. But it was off-chain. Has nothing to do, like Sweatcoin has nothing to do with blockchain or tokens or whatever.
We could not, because there was only Bitcoin. And we spent 6 months trying to figure out, can we build on Bitcoin? Can we fork Bitcoin? Slow, expensive. Then we spoke to Vitalik Buterin in 2015, and it was too early. When we launched,
You spoke with him in English or in Russian?
In English.
Okay.
He speaks very good Russian, but his English is actually better than his Russian.
Okay.
But you know what he does the best? We went for a walking meeting, and I don't think I sweated as much as in a walking meeting with Vitalik. He walks like a monster. He's so fast. It's just unbelievable.
I mean, I think
it's impossible
his character is
to keep up with him.
unbelievable from all levels, I think. So walking wouldn't be surprising.
It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a kid with my dad, running on the side. He walks incredibly fast.
Yes.
And he's probably the only person in the world that made me feel like that. Incredible guy.
Amazing.
Absolutely incredible guy.
So you built, but before that, what did you study actually?
I studied psychology
Okay.
and sociology of management.
Okay.
And you know why I did that?
Why?
In protest, because both of my parents were engineers.
Okay.
And everyone around me were engineers, and I was supposed to be an engineer.
Of course.
I was thinking like an engineer, and at some point I just kind of blew up, and I didn't want to be an engineer, and I did something different. I studied languages, I studied research methods, and I studied international trade, because despite the name, psychology and sociology was actually quite a prolific faculty in the university where I was studying.
That's amazing. So you went far.
Can I just add?
Tell me.
Behavioral psychology was one of the things that I loved the most. And that is what has played tremendous role in structuring this business.
Okay, now actually you made me wonder, like, okay, engineering, let's forget about it. But then you went to the psychology and human psychology, etc.
Yeah.
But how can this, which is like a passion basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how this turned into Sweatcoin? What is the relation between both?
Great question. So once we figured out that nature did not want you to be active, and nature was so adamant that you should follow that principle, that it gave you a behavioral feature. Well, right now it would be considered a bug, but then it was a feature. It's called present bias. And present bias is when you focus on right here, right now, until there is a mammoth shows up, and then you go and kill it. Well, we hope you kill it because you need food. Or there is a saber-toothed tiger about to make food out of you. Then you run away.
Then you act, yes.
Otherwise, you sit around the fire. We continue to sit around the fire right now. There are no mammoths. They come on plates 3 times a day. There is no scarcity. There are no saber-toothed tigers. But present bias still works. Thankfully, nature gave us a recipe how to deal with present bias. It's called
rewards.
instant gratification.
Okay.
Do you know
Which is
how
the
we know
reward.
that?
Or
Do you know how we know that?
how?
Are you a family man, Elja?
I have 3 cats and a monkey. You've seen the monkey.
Okay. I'm talking about family with children. Okay. So, do you believe that we would still be around and we would still be having children
No.
if nature did not give us an orgasm?
No.
Exactly. Instant gratification is the only way how you can fix certain things that actually need to happen. Nature forgot to give us an orgasm for physical activity. So that is the problem that we decided to fix.
But
I know that it sounds magnificent.
but yes, I mean, I understand. But when you said
Yeah.
to fix it, you fixed it by reward. So you made the mental behavior acts toward to the reward, not to the physical sport itself.
No, but we made you, imagine there is a nature that plays present bias. And if you can skip walking, if you can skip physical exercise, that's a reward from nature's perspective because you are saving calories. Now, if you're starting to reward every single step, that switch goes in the opposite direction. And all of a sudden, that same thing starts to make you take more steps. And when we launched it and we got first million users, we did a research with University of Warwick that confirmed that our users were 20% more active after they installed Sweatcoin than they were before. Magic. Tiny little thing, rewards for every step. All of a sudden, made people take more than 1,000 steps a day more than they were before.
Of course, I mean, I know people are using, especially, like I've met people that are using, or they know even Sweatcoin more than they know Sweat Economy. Like they don't know even what Sweat Economy, but they're using back in the day.
Of course, it's 164 million users around the world
You
now.
have 164 million users.
On Sweatcoin, yes.
Which geographically, where are they from?
They're everywhere. There are only 2 countries that we're not present in. It's China and Russia.
Oh, you're not in Russia?
No.
No, davai.
No davai. And the reason is actually very, very simple. Russian legislation requires you to open a separate data center and
Entity inside, so it can be stored inside.
And you have to have all the data in Russia.
Inside.
And to be honest, we have only one data center because we're so optimized. We actually, all of our data centers are in Europe. There is only one big cluster. And, unless we really, 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 really work extremely hard and we go into geographical segmentation, we just can't really find a need to have
There is no need because
multiple servers
you're
around
not
the world.
capturing you're not capturing really a massive different behavior, because at the end it's a human. You're not gonna tell me that the average Russians are running faster than the average one from, I don't know, from Indonesia. I mean, of course, maybe there is different, but the information is not that sensitive. Usually, if there are some kind of sensitivity, you don't want to sell the data, but it's not really sensitive, no?
You know what? Geographical discrepancies are amazing. Actually, in Europe, people walk about 5,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, people walk about 3,000 steps. If you look between countries, there is a humongous amount of difference. So, it is not easy to say, well, on average, it's about 4,000.
True, but is it sensitive? To
Yes.
say I want to store this only in my local server? I mean, what you're collecting from them? Are you collecting their, real information? Keeping it stored with you?
You know what? Can I take 3 steps back?
Go ahead.
Right. So we're not collecting data for data's sake.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we collect data is because we're not building product. We're not building category. We're building the whole new economy. And that means that our token is the tokenized physical activity. We very early on figured out that there is an incredible amount of similarity between paying attention and being physically active.
Mm-hmm.
Both are beneficial to you, Elja. Both are beneficial to third parties that are willing to pay for it. Advertisers on attention side and insurers, healthcare providers, employers, ultimately governments on the physical activity side. And what is most relevant to crypto is scarcity. Both are very scarce. You don't have an unlimited amount of attention. You don't have an unlimited amount of time and calories to be physically active. Now, you have 2 actions, paying attention and being physically active. Do you know the size of attention economy that we have built over the last 30 years?
No.
$7 trillion. 3 times the size of the whole crypto.
Of course, I mean, that's for sure. That will come to my next question, actually.
But can you imagine that the simple act of you paying attention is worth to humanity right now in total $7 trillion? Now, being physically active, everyone, like you just did right now, agrees that it is valuable. Everyone nods.
True.
But when I ask them how much, people look confused. And you know what? It's actually quite weird, because if there is something valuable, there's got to be value on it, right?
True.
So $7 trillion for one action, diddly squat for another. Now, where is that pointing you? To me, it points that we're going to have a movement economy, because we, as humanity, have managed to build work to earn, pay attention to earn, and now
Sleep to
humanity
earn,
is move to earn, or movement economy, because
Do you have sleep to earn or not yet?
no.
Actually, it's a good exercise because it helps people to sleep better, right?
I totally agree with you. There is only one issue with sleep to earn, tracking and verifying it. Because, You know what? When we launched in 2015, there was a first wave of competitors coming in 2016, 2017. And then there was a humongous wave of competitors launching in 21 and 22. You know what all of them failed to do?
What?
Verify your movement. Because the first thing that people do when you reward them for physical activity, specifically steps, they install your app and they do this.
Yeah.
And when they realize that they cannot earn sweat or sweat coins for that, then they put it on top of dishwasher. They put it on their dog in the park. Or they put it on a rope and they rotate it over the head. Or they put it on a metronome. There is a website called unfitbits.com that teaches you how to screw with
How
your
to cheat.
phone
Yeah.
and convince it that you're physically active. So we had to take all of that and much more. But over 10 years, and with our 164 million users, we have built an incredible 3-level security system that allows us to be 100% certain that if you report the data, we know it is genuine or not. And there is one thing about our verification system is 99% certainty is not good enough. It either is 100 and then it's true. 99 is not good enough.
But I mean, again, let's be fair. Also, systems sometimes make mistakes. So can
Yeah.
someone report and you can verify it, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna get his hard work.
And it goes exactly the opposite way as well.
Okay.
Because if we get an anomaly, I used to even call people. I'm like, what happened there?
True.
There is an anomaly in the data. And if people can explain to you and we look at the data, we go like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And
Okay, perfect.
we accepted it.
As long as you protect the
If
users.
they did not, then all of a sudden you put red flag and it is never accepted
It's
again.
disabled.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Sweat Economy, which it has
Web3.
total. Sorry, Sweatcoin.
Sweatcoin is
So it
our
has
Web2
164
health and
million.
fitness. Yeah.
Who's your biggest partners? What is the valuation of the company? Partners valuation, the company. What were your ranking in Apple Store? Like, give us something. I want to, make it as a story so people know who's Oleg, not the guy who fights on Twitter every day. He's a massive fighter. Yeah.
Respect, Elja. Thank you. Look, as I said, we started in 2014. When people compare us with Stepan, I say amazing marketing, massive amount of respect for blowing up and putting move to earn on everyone's radar. But
And Web3.
actually, we started it nearly 8 years before Stepan came on the scene, and it was in 2014.
Yeah.
And our mission was very, very simple, to make the world more physically active, because, as I mentioned to you, we believe that movement economy is going to be trillions and trillions of dollars in value. We are well aware it is not a 6 months, 12 months project. We've been at it for 10 years.
Sure.
And you know what? We've covered a lot of ground, a lot of ground. And what I am really, really excited about right now is that we finally, in 2022, managed to launch on blockchain. We wanted to do it in 2014. We could not do it. And every single year...
Because the Bitcoin and the blockchain.
And then Ethereum. Every single year, we were looking at Web3 space. Well, it wasn't called Web3 back then. It was called blockchain and crypto.
Now
Yeah.
it's a new term.
And we would look at it every single year. And in 2021, you know what? I used to live in London. And in
Used
London,
to.
yeah,
Where are you now?
I'm in Portugal.
Many in Portugal. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we'll come to it. I'll explain the story there. In London, they say buses either don't come or come in threes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened in 2021. Solana, Near, Algorand, Avalanche, all of a
BNB
sudden,
chain.
BNB, BC, absolutely. We've evaluated 14 different chains by the end of 2021, early 2022, we made a decision to build on Near after evaluating 14 different chains. Little did we know, it took 8 years from the moment when we launched Sweatcoin, thinking that it will take us 6 months to go on blockchain to actually find chain that was fast enough and robust enough to carry us. Because by that moment, we had more than 120 million users around the world. So you cannot tell 120 million users, ooh, okay, from day 1 to day 2, everything is going to change. Tokenomics are going to change. The behavior of the app is going to change. It was a little too late. So we needed to launch second currency, which is Sweat.
Sweat economy.
Sweat
So you don't
is the
interrupt.
token. And we also launched Sweat Wallet, which is a self-custody
I have actually
mobile
affiliate.
application.
I shared it to people, but I didn't check how much I have so far.
Elja, do you have your phone there? Let's just
It's
check it out.
actually outside. I don't carry it in the show, so I don't like start looking every second.
Yeah, no. But you know what? I can show you how much I have. And
I'm sure you're promoting it here in Token 14.
no.
You don't have much?
No, I spend a lot of my sweat rewarding people. Well, 2,000 sweat.
Oh, can't complain.
No, you know what? There are people that have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Of course.
But you know what? I actually use a lot of sweat to reward people for bug reporting, for
Cheating, finding a way. Cheating.
exactly,
That's the
for
most
suggesting brilliant ideas to us. You know, if somebody comes up with a really, really cool idea, I actually just ask them, what's your account? And I transfer them in sweat because you know what? Our community is bloody incredible. I absolutely love it.
True. I just wanna say something here because I think for anyone doesn't know what is sweat and what you're talking all about, you don't even understand what you're saying now because you went right away to the issues and the rewards and etc. But we didn't describe the idea from general. Let me phrase it and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Sweatcoin, it's the one of the first and till today lasting and strong Web2 company that rewards people based on off-chain coins, which is not real money, it's points based on their activities that they do every day. So basically, if you walk every day, if you do some physical sports, if you even a housewife and making your food for your family, you can actually earn virtual points. And with this virtual points, you partnered with many big brands that you can switch this to rewards. So basically, you're just rewarding them based on their activities and they're not paying anything for that, right? No. That's now the Web2. So I said this correct, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Now you made...
It's a free app.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's working in all the world beside 2 countries.
The line that we use is, it pays to walk.
That's true. Exactly.
It does pay to walk.
So, and the second part, now here, where you shifted 2020, when you decided to make Sweat Economy, which is with a token. And why didn't you make a token for the first one? Because again, not everyone is ready to change or willing to change. So you don't want to lose your existing users, which is 140 million or 120 million back in the time.
By now, 164.
I mean, when the day you decided.
Yeah.
And so usually that's a normal behavior when you want to cut. So you can convert them by time, and who doesn't want to convert, he can just stay in whatever he likes.
Exactly.
So you moved here. So now you moved in near protocol, which is me personally, I'm not happy about it, but it's fine. I cannot be happy about everything because
I'm going to introduce you to Elja.
I know. I met him twice, but it's not about him. It's not about the technology. It's about the same issue that you said. Now moving people from Web 2 to Web 3. It's the same people moving from Web 3 to Web 3. So when I go to a layer 1, a new wallet, a new blah blah blah, I'm one of the investors of the project of yours, right? And I have almost Ebola when I keep withdrawing. It's a different wallet, it's too much hassle. And imagine for the
It's
users.
different from EVM chains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
It is.
you had to build. I mean, I don't know why they didn't do EVM themselves. You know, mini layer one did EVM compatible, right? But anyways, that's a different story.
I can explain why.
Tell me.
Because EVM has a hard cap at about 500 transactions per second. There is no way that you can make EVM process more transactions than that. And we are hitting 500 transactions per second quite regularly.
Yeah, but we have other walk to earn, like let's say the one you mentioned at the beginning, the Ors
Yeah.
and Solana.
True. But you know what? The token economics are completely different from ours.
I agree.
And you know what? We can go into details, but fundamentally, we are a very, very different project with a completely different philosophy.
I agree.
Yeah.
You have a power from the beginning, which you used it to help the chain itself. So basically, the chain. I mean, you were like the
Yeah.
piece of cake that everyone wants. I remember back in the days.
Oh yeah.
But you had that strong Russian British ego, and we went to that, and of course you had the first clash with the Web3 because you're not used to how this wild west we have in this space. You're coming from a traditional business where everything is done in a
But you
very
know what?
traditional
There is a
method.
very, very strong rationale
Yeah.
why we went with Near. And it wasn't preference and it wasn't liking of people only.
True.
But there were three reasons. Reason one was everyone was talking about next billion people.
True.
But most chains
Cannot even
had
handle it.
transactions, if you capped at 500 transactions per second, and your transactions are between $1 and $4, what are we talking about? Africans who have $5 to $10 income per month, you're not going to be able to attract them, right?
True.
So there is a narrative and a story, and then there is the reality of the product. And actually, in Near, it is very consistent because you have high throughput, extremely cheap transactions, and it is extendable. So when we tested Near, we got 1,500 transactions per second, and that was on 4 shards. Now Near's got 6 shards. So productivity or throughput has increased. And as we grow, we know that all Near needs to do is deploy more shards. Can you imagine if we were going with EVM and we were approaching 400, 500, and all of a sudden we have to stop acquiring users and we need to stop growing because we are building on a chain that cannot support our scale. That is the worst nightmare of any startup.
I agree. I mean, especially when you have the use case in Web 2 and you have the result in Web 2. So you saw-
Totally.
So-
And we knew it very well. So that's one. The second one was team. And you know what? Near team is actually quite unique in a way that they are builders, not chillers. And you need to have both. However, one thing that I would say is it is easier to build a narrative around a beautiful product. It is very difficult to build a product around a beautiful narrative.
I agree.
So
But sometimes you need
these
to also
guys,
shill it.
you need both.
Exactly.
And I totally agree with you. And you know what?
I
That
think
is
you are- I
part
think-
of the journey that we are helping them with, and that is why we are in top of that radar, and we're helping them.
I mean, no, relax. You're gonna be the top of any chain you're gonna deploy in.
Yeah.
So when you're actually, I have to stop you. Now you made me sad. When you say you're the top
Yeah.
on chain on, let's say, Near, that's not something you shouldn't be proud because there is not much player there. But if you're gonna go to other chain because you have the data and you have the number, you're gonna be top in every fucking
We would still
chain.
be bigger than most.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
because even onboarding them will be easier to onboard them. So you're gonna be for sure.
Can I
tapping
do
the
some
tool.
shilling, Elja?
Yes,
Can I
yes.
do some shilling?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Sweat is 9th widest held token in the world. It is 13th most actively used token in the world. And we are consistently in top 3 on that radar in terms of active users. And the reason why I'm talking about these metrics as opposed to TVL is because TVL matters, but metrics of success in industries change over time, right?
Especially when it's becoming security. Now it's like 100% utility.
Yeah. But you know what the danger of building for TVL is? Building for TVL, and you say, I'm building for the next billion users. My success metric is TVL. Okay. 6 months down the line, you realize that your TVL goals are a lot easier to achieve by making 10 phone calls to Elja and Elja's friends, as opposed to acquiring 5 million users. The interface, the user experience, the product, everything is going to be completely different, because if I'm building for you, the product that you would want and the product that you would love is completely different than the person that just walked into Web3, right?
True.
So if you're focusing on TVL, you're building for whales, you're building for very high net worth individuals, which means is that you are not expanding
You're
the
not
market.
the mass. You're not mass. You're not going for the. You're not. You cannot go get the billion users to your chain.
But no, worse. You basically, because you have TVL on chains, if I attract you to my project, it's their loss, my gain. It's
True.
a zero-sum game.
I agree.
What we need to be thinking in Web3 is how do we grow a pie? And if you're focusing on TVL, the easiest way to get TVL is to steal TVL from another chain. And you know what? It's just like in musical chairs. And you can actually see it.
Yes,
if you're
yes,
starting to look at stats, we're not
agree.
growing a pie. It just shifts around.
Shifting. We're not actually. I keep saying the amount of movement happening on chain. It's not like really user coming from Web 2 to Web 3, which is this is not what we're looking for, and
The pie is not growing.
yeah, it's exactly. I do 100% agree, and everyone is like fighting. It's
Yeah.
like the last bull market.
Yeah.
So everyone want to go and take a pie of this pie that keep turning.
Yeah.
But this is not the real builders, because I love regulations. I believe regulations must come. Yes, I have the issue with regulations that they are not only want to protect you, they want to control you. But I mean, not having the regulations as well, it's a Wild West.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure you faced some of this Wild West since you came. And I remember one of the sad moments when you're trying to speak with the Web3 people, and we had a chat together. And I told you it's different than the way you chat and the mindset of the Web2 institution and the way to do business. So let me now speak to data. Now you've launched 2020. So we say, let's say
September 2022.
3 years, let's say.
No, we're only live 18 months.
18, yeah, actually true. From
Yeah.
TGE. I agree.
Less than 2 years.
I agree.
Yeah.
How many you were able to convert from
Yeah.
your users? Because I'm not expecting many coming from near yet, because we don't have enough projects
No.
in near. So you were driving your own users to try. So how many you drove so far?
No, look, our project is about Sweatcoin is about it pays to walk.
True.
Sweat Economy is about walk into crypto.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When we started in 2021 and we were doing analysis of blockchains, we've done a lot of user research. And you know what we've discovered? Because the reason why we started user research was because we have a lot of different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
We have young males, we have mums, we have older mums, And we were concerned that all the mums would actually feel that crypto is fundamentally wrong for them. We were thinking that maybe they still remember, how was it called? Silk Road, drugs and all of that illegal stuff. You know what we've discovered?
Tell me.
There was no single person that said that they were not interested in Web3 and in crypto. They told us the reason why they were not there were for two reasons. Reason one is very complex onboarding. And the words they used, shitty, because, I mean, let's not go into even vocabulary, finality, hodl, biddle, all of that.
Yeah.
People just simply don't understand. They don't comprehend those words.
True.
But then you are given 24 words and there is a big red text that says,
if you lose,
you got to record that on pieces of metal that then you need to split into two pieces and keep it in two different safes into geographical locations, or you're going to lose all of your assets. Jesus, for an average person, this is way above their head. So that was one complaint. And another complaint was, if you mastered that, and only very, very few who did, the interesting thing about them was they managed to figure out password managers. So if people have grasp of password managers, they could actually get through. But then as soon as you get in, you needed to put card in and buy few $100 minimum of crypto so that you can start learning. And can you imagine? Here is a person that installed the app and they need to part with few $100 to learn. It's humongous ask.
Of course.
Because in their minds, what they remember is Ronin Bridge, 600 million, Wormhole Bridge, 300 million.
Sure.
They think that they are going to be the ones that are going to lose the money.
They're going to be scammed, basically.
So, coming to us again, we have a free app. We removed all of that onboarding pain. And in fact, one of the announcements I made yesterday was we are introducing magic keys, where your security as an entry-level security is not going to be tied to an email sent to you. It is going to be tied to an email account. So as long as you have your email account controlled, you will be able to recover and reinstall Sweat Wallet and get possession of all of your assets as if you had a seed phrase. If you're not happy about that, and I know that some crypto natives would say, no, I don't want to do that. Of course, there is a seed phrase, and then we have ledgers support in the roadmap. But it is progressive security because
you're gonna make your own ledgers.
No.
Okay, partnering.
No, we're gonna support cold storage.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you think about it, everything we do in life typically is progressive. So when you come in and there are zero assets there, why would I bother you with seed phrase? Why would I bother you with the ledger? Why would I bother you with OPSEC, operational security? Just get in and look around. And if you are progressing and you're starting to use the app and your assets grow, then we will remind you. And you know what? Secure or put security higher, next level.
True.
So that is extremely important if we want to bring next billion people. So Magic Keys is something that we're starting to slowly roll out from yesterday going forward. It's not going to be available to everyone immediately, just because we need to test everything and make sure that it works at bigger and bigger and bigger scale. But that's working, and we know that's what our users want.
Perfect. I want to ask you now the question that you avoided so far. Whom your partnership? Like I want to see because you're telling me, yeah, some people went to Web3, they went before us, blah blah blah. But we have all this. Okay, just we don't want talk. We want now to know whom your partnerships.
Okay.
Do you have big names or no?
I mean, over 10 years,
Yes.
we worked with more than 1,000 different companies. And sorry, I'm terribly unprepared and I should have done a better job. But I definitely know we worked with Puma, Adidas,
Food brands.
oh,
I know.
YT. No, food. God, my memory is failing me right now.
I'm sure it's not Pepsi. So I'm gonna.
No.
I'm gonna simplify it. for you.
No. We had people coming over and wanting to partner, and they were selling alcohol-free vodka.
Oh.
But as a Russian, I just couldn't comprehend what that possibly could be.
Okay.
So no, Pepsi and
Of course. I
no,
mean,
no,
you're
no.
going to the healthy side, so
But you know what? Let me just tell you what does really well with us is health, fitness, fashion.
fashion. Which is
Fashion.
Adidas. You could consider Adidas like fashion, for an example.
Because if you think about it, if you're physically active, especially women who are actually more focused on this than even
course.
men, if you are thinking about being physically active, you're looking after your shape, you are looking after your body, you are looking after how you look. So fashion, makeup, accessories.
No, you don't need. خلاص, if she's doing sports, she doesn't need makeup anymore. She's beautiful by health. She needs bikinis.
No, surprisingly, makeup is doing really, really well. You know what the biggest shocker for me was?
Tell me.
Dog accessories.
What? What has this to do with
Collars, leashes, all a matter of different things that you need for your dog or cat pet. 50% of our users have a dog or a cat. And those that have a dog
No
walk
monkey?
a lot more than those that don't. We can clearly see that.
So they're spoiling their dog with them as well.
Yeah.
What
And
about
you know-
who has a monkey? No, you're not addressing accessories.
You know what? For you, Elja, anything. If you want, we can try to figure out.
But did you love
monkey
Coco or not?
accessories.
Did you like Coco?
Oh, he's amazing.
She's a beautiful.
She.
Yeah. I'm gonna make an app for her.
You're gonna make an app for
Yes,
her?
she use Sweat. She's running all day, man. At least I can say I can make some money, no?
Well, thankfully, it wouldn't count.
Really, you can capture.
Yeah, no, because she runs on all four. It's completely different gait.
I know she can walk on two actually.
You know what?
I trained her.
Even if she does, it's definitely going to be a
We
very
will see.
different gait.
I will see. Maybe
Unless-
you've never tested with a monkey. Never. Don't.
No, we didn't.
See?
So not on purpose, but we did test with horses, donkeys.
4. All
Yeah.
this is 4.
Yeah.
Here's 2. Can you handle it and do it? We will try. Thank you for giving me the alpha.
I love your challenges, Elja. You know, now I'm kind of going like, yeah, I need to talk to the team.
You're gonna talk to
No,
him, hey.
I gotta, let's get a little more. Let's try to figure out how we, you know what? No. What are we talking about? If you put a phone on your loco, what's her name?
Coco.
Loco Coco.
Yeah.
She's not going to be able to walk. I mean, the phone is heavier than her.
But that's why
What are you
can
talking
have
about?
it on your watch, no? You can, right? I remember you can.
Yes,
Yeah.
Apple Watch
I already
works.
thought of it. Don't worry. Already I thought of that. I passed this phone idea.
Elja, I love it. You know what? You've got Apple Watch, do you?
No.
Ah.
This is Bitcoin watch.
Okay. So, huge favor. Get an
Right.
Apple Watch. If you want, I'll buy it for you.
Oh no, I have.
And,
I have buying those.
let's put it on Loco Coco and let's figure out if she generates
or
sweat.
See?
Right?
But how much you gonna reward me? You're gonna tell me you're gonna give me a watch. What the fuck? What I'm gonna do with the Apple Watch?
Elja,
Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
Anything you want. Whatever.
Now I'm gonna look.
Name your price.
I'm gonna look at the British side, not the Russian side, so I can at least find money. So now let's go from this part.
Yeah.
So you managed to get your users slowly from Web 2 to Web 3, right?
Yeah.
And basically, these partnerships that you have in Web 2, are they also the same or they are different based on the regulatory side?
There is an overlap. However, there are a lot of other partnerships on Web3 because, you know what? In Web2, we have a lot of users.
Yeah.
But we are not a top 3 app in the world in Web2. In Web3, we are. There is nothing out there that is actually having the scale that we have. And if there is a project, DApp, protocol, that is interested in scaling, you know, who can bring them users? So we're actually working with dozens and dozens of projects at different stages of their development. You know, there is a very early stage because if you're just building and you want to get 10, 20,000 users to test your product so that you know that you have product market fit, that's one. Then there is a mid-scale where there is, you know, a need to get maybe 50 to 100,000 users because you actually want to push things forward and understand how the whole product works. And then there are chains, and that is something extremely exciting. And that was the second part of our announcement yesterday, because yesterday we became multi-chain. And Elja, you were instrumental in many ways as to what was the first chain that we expanded to.
I actually
And by
spoke to
that
Misha.
smile, I know the answer. Yeah, I know that you know the answer. So we used to be just on near, and now we have near and BSC.
chain.
Yeah, and
you
BNB
moved that.
chain. Yeah.
So the question actually comes after. Like I was surprised because I'm like, oh, blad, this now he moved to BNB chain. I mean, I know the story and it was really
Yeah.
difficult. That's not a problem. But the point, when you're considering your own chain, why you're not considering, like we have Chili's, which is the fan token chain, and they have their own chain. When do you see Sweat Economy have its own chain for activities so people can be building? Because, okay, let's be honest. Yes, maybe there are bigger projects that they built in this industry because they had a better relation and they came earlier.
Yeah.
So it's the first mover advantage. But that's, in my kind of opinion, it has also a chance that it doesn't stay, because at the end, coming with the experience, with the partnership from all these years,
Yeah.
you're a long-term player and you have a very long breath to wait, so you're fine. So
Yeah.
you're building this industry and you know the in and out of this industry. So I was thinking, one day, are you willing to have your own chain where anyone building things to be related to sports, so you can unlock for them the partnerships, you can look them from the brands, you can look them looking at their tokenomics because it's different than any other tokenomics because you know how it works. Give them the psychologic of the each whatever.
Yeah.
Is that a part you're considering, or you just want to make Sweat Economy? I think this is the first time you get asked this question, or what? Because you're looking at this guy.
It is.
Okay.
It is a difficult question, and I cannot answer it simply. Can I give a long answer?
Sure.
The long answer is, I'm an old guy. I mean,
You're still 25, no?
But you know what? For my 25 years of age, I remember 90s, and I remember internet. And I remember when VCs were investing into internet.
Yeah.
And, there are so many parallels between what we have in Web3 and what was happening in the internet industry
Sure.
in the 90s. And you know what's the most striking thing? Internet in the 90s was all about infrastructure. It was all about hardware. Sun Microsystems, Silicon Graphics, blade servers, data centers, fiber, data lines between continents. That's where all the money went, and that's where money were made. Come to year 2000, something flipped and something happened, and all of a sudden, both VCs and founders started focusing on a completely different metric of success, which was active users. And that gave us Google in 2003, Facebook in 2007, countless other businesses, right? And you know what's interesting? When we are looking right now, what is big tech and where money are made and where profits really are, they are in big tech.
True.
They are
Data.
with those companies that control the final click, the final eyeball, the final decision.
True.
And these guys are arbitraging their costs between infrastructure providers.
I agree.
Now, going back to your question, Web3 is going to do exactly the same thing, because the amount of money that is going into infrastructure right now is phenomenal. But we're not building this infrastructure for the infrastructure's sake.
True.
We're building it for use cases. There are no use cases for now. And if you talk to most people, they say TVL, 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 TVL. But as we talked before, if you focus on TVL, you focus on whales. You focus on pulling money from another chain, another protocol onto your protocol. You're not growing the pie. Now, the age of consumer crypto is coming, because with so much investment, at some point, we will have to make use of all of this infrastructure. And the only way to do it is by attracting next billion people, because there is no point in having all of that for 200 million whales or high net worth individuals. It's just not worth it. I mean, you could run it on dial-up. So with this said, the future of Web3 is not islands where you play, and if you want to go to another island, you need to create another account and then bridge your assets. These islands are just going to become bases for pillars of something that will unify all of that. And from user perspective, all of these chains are not going to be visible.
I agree. Many things will change.
The apps they use right now, you don't know if they're on AWS or on Google
100%.
or on Azure. That is exactly what's going to happen. And you know what's worse? It's all going to be about assets. And it is all going to be about manipulation, transfers, and actions around it. And you know what's going to happen? Chains that will do it faster and cheaper are going to get the volume. Chains that will not be able to process the volume or are not cheap enough,
the TVL ones will die, basically.
Are just going to die.
The TVL one's going to die. Because people at the end, I say, you're always going to feel a problem when it becomes really problem. Till now, it's not a really problem because the number of users is not that big. Once it become adoption, things going to crack. And if you have TVL, you can stick it in your ass because you cannot do anything with it. If you don't have the right chain that can actually take, and the TVL will run to the other one because they're going to want the big number of users, right? So building the infrastructure. But again, that's not what I'm asking. You have to have your own chain, because I believe, and that's my
coming back to your point.
Yes.
Why would I build another island
Yes.
that will have a pillar when I can actually build a unifying layer? We have NEAR already. We've added BSC. Within the next 12 months, I'm going to have all chains that matter. And our wallet is going to have one unified interface that will show you all your assets across chains
So it's a better user experience.
without breaking it down, without the need to
like
do drop down,
MetaMask
whatever.
every time choose the chain, change the chain, etc.
No.
So I would like to thank Oleg. The time actually passed very fast. I mean, I can sit with this man for 10 hours to speak. He's, mashallah, knowledge fighter, and he's coming from the Web2 industry. He's having one of the largest app called Sweatcoin. You can download it any place in the world almost.
And press, find a banner that says walk into crypto.
Yeah,
Just tap on it and then you're in crypto.
that's true.
Very simple.
That's true. And he jumped as well in Web3 with the Sweat Economy. Be sure, guys, to follow him. Follow Sweat Economy. Check it out. Do your own research, of course. And while you're doing it, at least download the app and walk. So at least if you didn't like it, you can earn from it because you walk. Spasiba. Thank you.
Spasiba. Can I add one more thing?
Please.
Yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning, our Sweat wallet became Arabic.
Oh, you added Arabic language. You told me from 2 years Sweatcoin has so many Arabs. I'm like, why didn't you add Arabic?
It was the most requested language.
Yes.
And I was cherishing an opportunity to talk to you and actually announce it in Dubai because, this part of the world is a huge market for us. And it's amazing that we were able to do it because, right to left,
Left. Oh,
Yeah.
Now you're confused. Right to left.
Right
yes.
to left
Yes.
is actually it seems like a simple thing, but it changes a lot of UX elements.
The UX, the problem is the UX is not the translation. The UX will totally change.
Yeah,
I do agree.
Yeah.
But congratulations, and that's very, very important. Anyways, thank you again for coming. And guys, please follow him, Spasiba, and hopefully to see you next year when you have your own chain, which is what I'm telling now.
And Elja, I would love to come in about a couple of months' time because you know what? We're actually in a couple of months' time going to have an answer to a question. What is the financial value of 10,000 steps? Because everyone knows they need to be active. Everyone knows they need to walk 10,000 steps. But nobody knows the value.
The value. That's
You know what we've done?
Tell me.
We've given grants to universities to write papers that answers exactly that question
To do research.
and give their completely unbiased opinion.
That's
so
important.
in a couple of months' time, I would love to come back and wave around papers and go, yeah, this is how much 10,000 steps are worth. So
Because you're not coming to make money. You're coming to build an industry and make money.
trillions
after,
and trillions and trillions of dollars because physical activity is so valuable and there are billions of us and your physical activity has humongous value.
Thank you very much, and we meet in a few months from now.
Thank you, Elja.
Thank you. It's not just a room.
It's the room of Eljaboom.
Let's go.
I feel like Mr. Boom. I don't want your kitty, I'm just tryna play with Moon. We could hit the city, baby, what you tryna do? Catch me out in Quirksville, big shout out to Doom. I'm looking at the floor price, hey Brody.